What's going on, everybody? I'm Dan, and this is Midwest Angling. And in case you've been under a rock, it is officially 2026. Now, 2025 was kind of a rough deal on this channel. Between getting Lyme disease and just some real inconsistencies in my work life, I really didn't get out fishing nearly as much as I wanted to last year. And unfortunately, that meant that the channel suffered. As we go into 2026, this is actually my 5th season here on YouTube. 2025 was probably one of the worst seasons since the first one, as far as actually getting content out there goes. And so, new year, new me, all that nonsense. I really wanted to try and revamp the channel. So this video is really meant for subscribers and people that have been following for a while, but if you are new here, welcome. On this channel, we try to do adventures in fishing and camping. So a way for me to kind of brainstorm some ways to bring the channel back to life in 2026, I decided we are gonna fill out a 2026 bingo card. Now these are all going to be goals and things that we can accomplish on the channel. Some of them are going to be easier than others. Now, I got the idea to do this because my wife made a personal bingo card for 2026 of things that she would like to accomplish. And that got me thinking this might be a really good way to represent this for the viewers of the channel. And then, you know, when we get to the end of 2026, we can look back on this and see if I scored a bingo. Every bingo card gives you a freebie. So let's start right off the bat with good old free. Not much in life that's free. You got to take it while you can get it. So the next 4 are all things that are really easy, and I'm going to put those in the corners. They all have to do with trips that I plan to take at some point this year. And so the first one that we're going to do is we're going to do an ice camp. And we're going to do this right up in the corner here. Ice camp. Something that I've always wanted to do on the channel. Time has really not been my friend, especially the last year. Really didn't get a chance to do much ice fishing last year. I have all the equipment to do it. It's just a matter of getting myself out there. The next one is going to be camping in a state that is not Wisconsin or Maine. Those are the 2 states that have been where we filmed primarily all the content on this channel. I thought maybe that would be a good idea to get us out and explore the world a little bit. Over here, we will put camp, different, state. The next easy corner piece that we're gonna put down is doing a bushcraft camp. Gonna pack everything that we need to do a fishing camp, but it's gonna be all within a backpack. We're gonna keep it nice and simple, nice and lightweight, and we're just gonna walk along the bank, catch some fish, do some camping. Bushcraft camp. So I think that'll be a real fun video idea. And then the final corner piece is one that I actually wanted to do last year, but just the timing never really worked out. And that's do a canoe camp on the lower Wisconsin State Riverway. I love canoe camping. It really forces you to pick and choose the things that you bring. And the lower Wisconsin State Riverway, you can camp on any island that's within the riverway. It's something that I've wanted to do for a while now, so we'll get that checked off. Canoe camp. LWSR. So now that we got our 4 corners set up, nice and easy ones, let's get into some personal accomplishments in fishing that I would like to achieve this year. I'm gonna put these fishing personal achievements kind of around the middle here. And the first one that we're gonna put on is catch a 5-pound bass. I've caught a few in my days of bass fishing, pretty much my whole life, but I have yet to actually catch one on camera. So I thought that would be a really good goal to achieve. We do a little bit of bass fishing on this channel. 5-pound bass. The next fish accomplishment I'd like to achieve would be catch a muskie. Now that's one fish that I have never ever caught before. I do have a bit of equipment that I could use to actually try and get one. And the lake that I love to fish on, the Peat and Well flowage, just so happens to be a really good musky water. There are some monsters in that system. We will put musky. The next fishing goal that I want to achieve is going to be catch a lake trout on Lake Superior. Now this is kind of why I didn't put camp on Lake Superior in one of the corners, is because I know I'm going to go do it. We have plans with my father this spring. He's gonna fly out from Maine. He's never actually seen Lake Superior. It's something that he's always wanted to do. And so we're gonna go camp on the Apostle Island chain in Lake Superior up in northern Wisconsin. And we're gonna try and get us a nice lake trout in Lake Superior. Now that's another fish that I've never caught. Grew up in Maine, a legendary state as far as lake trout fishing goes, but I never caught one there. I think that'd be a really good goal to achieve this year. So we're gonna put lake trout on Superior. Now the next goal is something I have done before. I've just never done it on the channel. And that is catch a 15-inch crappie. Now back in Maine, that's pretty easy to do. And the system that I love to fish here in Wisconsin, the peat and well flowage, they are definitely in there. You just really gotta work for them. So a 15-inch crappie is a really nice fish. And so I think that's a good goal for us to set. So we're gonna go 15-inch crappie. Our next fish goal is going to be one that should be fairly easy to attain. It's going to be catch a brook trout through the ice. Now, there's a couple places up in northern Wisconsin where we can go catch some brookies, and so I'd like to go up and do that while it's still wintertime. Maybe we can knock that out with our ice camping deal. Brook trout on ice. Our next goal is going to be, it's not really like a monstrous goal. Yep, it would be a personal best for me, and that is get a 36-inch pike. I know generally the trophy range is considered 40 inches like a muskie, but I think maybe keep our feet on the ground while we're reaching for the stars. I'm going to go with 36-inch pike. Now the next one is something that I attained at the end of the 2024 season, and that is catch a new PB walleye. My personal PB walleye currently sits at 26 inches, which I know isn't that great, but you gotta understand, I grew up in Maine where we don't have walleyes, so walleye fishing is something that I've had to learn since I moved here to Wisconsin. And so every now and then I keep getting a bigger and bigger fish. So this year, let's try and get one maybe 27 inches or 28 inches, which is the upper end of the slot limit on the peat and well flowage. So I'm just gonna say new PB walleye. Now to round out the inner circle here, I'm gonna expand on that a little bit. Catch a slot walleye from my kayak. Now, I've done a little bit of kayak fishing on the channel. I do have a kayak, I have a canoe, and I do have a Lund boat. So I realistically get to do a lot of different styles of fishing. The kayak kind of takes everything that has to do with fishing and just kind of makes it a little harder. We're gonna go slot walleye on kayak. Now to start working into the outer circle, the first one is kind of going to be in that same realm, and it is catch a slot walleye through the ice. Now that joins the list of things that I've done before I had the YouTube channel, but I'd really like to put a nice slot on the ice on YouTube for you all to see. Slot walleye on ice. Now, some of you might be thinking there's a lot of walleyes in this bingo card and goals, but the main focus of the channel always has been walleye fishing. Yeah, we do other stuff, but primarily we target walleyes on this channel, so a lot of these are gonna kind of be focused around that fact. So the next goal is gonna be kind of a personal goal with my career. I might start moving this year towards achieving that goal, and that would be start guiding. My current day job is a truck driver, and I hate it because unfortunately I just don't get nearly enough time to go fishing. The loads always come first. That's always been a goal of this channel. Eventually do this full time and also full-time guide. And I'm not saying that I'm gonna quit my job tomorrow, start chasing this dream of fishing. At some point in 2026, maybe I'll get that guide license and we'll start making that happen. Start guiding. This next goal is a channel goal overall. And that would be to reach 3,000 subscribers. We've been sitting at like 2,100 for months. This channel really hasn't been doing much lately. The growth is really stagnant. I'm hoping that by breathing this extra bit of life into the channel going forward, maybe we can get that push to reach our next milestone, and that will be 3,000 subs. And let that be your cue right there. If you have not done so already, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. That way you can see if I meet any of these goals. So the next one is kind of a little weird. I don't know if that's the right word for it. Something that I've started to do this past year is I picked up playing guitar. You know, I've always loved music, and now I've been really kind of getting into making it myself. I have been practicing. I'm not Eddie Van Halen. A goal is at some point on this channel, I'd like to play guitar in a video, play a song, and hopefully you all won't unsubscribe when you hear that. Play guitar on video. The next goal, collaborate with a bigger YouTube channel. I never really filmed with anybody that has more subscribers than me on YouTube, but something I'd like to do is work with a bigger channel, and hopefully that would get us some good exposure with new audiences. Collaborate with bigger channel. So the next one is something I've wanted to do for a long time, but it just takes two to tango, and that is film a fishing camp with my wife. My wife has been on the channel like twice. She really doesn't like being on camera. Maybe at some point this year we can actually get her on the channel again, do a camping trip. Fish in camp with wife. The next one is going to be something that I haven't really decided if we're going to even go do it yet, but it's something I would really like to do, and that is catch a fish in the North Maine woods. I've done that on the channel when we did the moose hunt video. This fall, I would really love to go back to the North Maine woods, not on a moose hunt, not with a whole lot of pressure. Because the North Maine woods is, if you've never heard of it, basically it's logging land, but it's open to the public. You just gotta pay to get in the gate. And there's thousands of lakes, millions of acres of forest. And I really like to go back there on the channel in 2026. So we'll say, catch a fish in North Maine woods. The next one would be a kind of a career goal, and that would be become a pro staff of some sort. Now, I've accepted product on the channel to test out and review. You know, maybe this year is the year that some company actually, they'd like to see me pushing their product. A guy can dream, right? Become pro staff. There's companies where you could just sign up. As long as you give your email, you can be pro staff. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a company where you actually have to apply, go through a process and prove to them that you have a following and you can actually do things for that brand. So the next one is not fishing related, but it does go back to the catching a fish in the North Maine woods, and that would be shoot a grouse. Because if we were to go back to the North Maine woods, we would definitely be going in that transition season where it's, you know, fishing is ending like one weekend and grouse hunting is starting the next. The grouse hunting in the North Maine woods is just, it's unparalleled. Park Falls, Wisconsin claims to be the rough grouse capital of the world, but the North Maine woods is where it's at for grouse hunting. Shoot a grouse. And then the next one is kind of along the same lines. It's shoot a deer. Now, I attempted to film a deer hunt this fall, but it really just didn't go that well. This year, let's make a deer hunting video. So I'm gonna say, shoot a deer. And then the next one is, we're going back to the fishing realm, but we're still kind of involving shooting something. That's gonna be, get a fish with a bow fishing bow. Now, I have done that many times with my buddy Chris. He's been on the channel, and he used to have a bow fishing rig, and he sold it. And since then, I haven't been bow fishing. I still got the bow. I can't tell you how many times I've been walleye fishing out on the Petenwell flowage in the middle of the summer, and them carp are just sitting on the surface. I've had them even run into the boat before. You know, if the fishing ain't that great on one of them dog days of summer days, maybe go back, grab the bow, and grab a garbage barrel and see if we could shoot some fish. So we'll say, get a carp bow fishing. And now the final square is going to be placing in a fishing tournament. I fished a bass tournament last year. I didn't place. I didn't even get a limit. Some people did comment that they liked the idea of fishing in a tournament for a video. So I'll say, place in a tournament. With that being said, that completes our 2026 fishing bingo card. At the end of the year, we'll come back, we'll review these, and we'll go over any of the ones that I got, we'll go over the ones that I didn't get, and we'll see. Maybe I got bingo. So like I said before, if you want to see if these things are going to come to fruition, just make sure you hit that subscribe button, click the bell, and if you so choose, you can hit that like button. That'll help us in the almighty YouTube algorithm. And as always, this has been Midwest Angling. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.